Greetings. Short video on the thyroid gland. We're going to talk about hyperthyroid, not hyper. Because the sister called me yesterday and said she lost a thyroid gland to cancer, and we know there's a lot of women is suffering from trouble in the thyroid gland. Right? The thyroid gland is part of the endocrine system. There's a lot of them, and the endocrine glands are very significant because they're kind of complicated, but they're very significant in terms of producing hormones, and each hormone have a receptor. So the hormone must go into the receptor and give the receptor the right message. Otherwise, you're going to have complication, or you're going to have like Babel, confusion in the endocrine system. Now, the hypothalamus gland in the brain controls the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland controls the adrenal glands. And the pituitary gland controls the thyroid gland. And the pituitary gland controls the woman's ovaries with the pineal gland in the back of the brain called the spiritual gland. And they are important in terms of keeping the woman's reproductive system in terms of progesterone healthy. The pituitary gland also controls the pancreas in terms of the endocrine part of the pancreas that produces insulin. And the pituitary gland controls the kidney too in terms of diuresis, in terms of the water balance. So the pituitary is important, anterior, posterior, and middle part of the gland. Now when you have trouble in the thyroid gland, we don't just go to the thyroid gland, we go to the endocrine glands, because the endocrine glands work together. And the endocrine glands also depends on the digestive system. Yeah? So we must go to the gut. Yeah? So let's go to the parathyroid. The parathyroid is significant in preventing hyperthyroidism because it produces PTH, parathyroid hormone. And the parathyroid also controls the adrenals too, in terms of bad feelings, depression, anxiety, hate, bad mind. You see? And then the parathyroid is significant because it metabolizes calcium and the B complex. So if there's trouble in the thyroid gland, we have to go to the herb that acts as thyroxine inhibitors if you're hyper. Cruciferous vegetables, cabbages, Brussels sprouts, kale, cauliflower, they all also act as thyroxine inhibitors. So if you're hyper, you can use them. If you're hypo, they are contraindicated. So today what we're going to do, we're going to show you some herbs that work on the thyroid gland if you're hyper, not hypo. You can get Graves' disease, you can get Hashimoto disease, you can get renal disease. That's different kind of treatment also. But usually, we go into the hyper and hypo. So today we're going to teach you about some herbs that work on the thyroid gland if you're hyper, and the act as thyroxine inhibitors. Yeah? Now, if you have trouble in the thyroid gland, let me take off my glasses because you're always have my glasses inside. Just came from outside and walk. If you have trouble in the thyroid gland, you have to know what is causing you to have troubles in that gland. It could come from the pituitary, it could come from the parathyroid, it could come from the gut, yeah? Because all the glands work together. So what we're going to do today, we're going to teach you about the main herb, the supporting herb, and the assistant herb. Because in herbal medicine, you have to know what is going on with the gland, and you have to know what herb you have to use as the main herb, what herb you have to use as the supporting herb, what herb you have to use as the assistant herb. So the assistant herb can assist the supporting herb, and the supporting herb can support the main herb and what the herb is doing to the gland. Yeah, that's significant. Like husband support wife, wife support husband, children support mom and dad support children. That's how it's supposed to be. Main herb, supporting herb, and assisting herb. Yeah. So now we're going to talk about some plants that work on the gland if it's hyper. But because you have troubles in the thyroid, it does not mean that the troubles came from the thyroid gland. It could come from some place else that could affect the thyroid gland, because the pituitary gland produces TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, feed the thyroid gland. And the pituitary gland also produces what? LH, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone. And because the hypothalamus gland must feed the pituitary gland, in order for the pituitary gland to produce these hormones, if there is an imbalance in the glands, in the hypothalamus, your pituitary is going to suffer. Then you're going to get what we call HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenals sending wrong signals to prolactin receptors, and you get breast cancer too. We're going to talk about that in another presentation. But today we're going to talk about hyperthyroid, how the herbs work, and what you can do to save your thyroid gland from these butchers removing it. Okay, let's go. One time we're going to go to the herb called. See this herb right here? This herb is from the Lamaceae family, and mostly all the herbs that a lot of people use today is from the Lamaceae family. So peppermint is from the Lamacy family. Raspberry leaves is from the Lamacy family. Bugleweed is from the Lamacy family. Lemon balm is from the Lamacy family. And they do different things to the system. Catnip is from the Lamacy family. So you have to know what families these plants come from. But this herb is very significant because it acts as a thyroxine inhibitor. Yeah? And it is also important for hyperthyroid, induced palpitation and anxiety. So when you use this plant, it works as prevent in hyperthyroid induced palpitation, meaning that it don't make you get palpitation of the heart, because when you have a hyperthyroid, you get palpitation of the heart. Boom, the heart beats kind of fast too, because the thyroid gland is significant in terms of keeping your heart healthy too. And the thyroid gland function better in an alkaline terrain. Yeah, wonderful. So that's what it does. It acts as a thyroxine inhibitor, and it is a hyperthyroid induced palpitation and anxiety, meaning that it can stop anxiety and reduce your palpitation. But we also use this herb for what? High blood pressure, with horton and other plants, and a struggle if you have an enlarged heart. If you have mitral valve prolapse or the valve is all messed up, you can use this herb with other plants that help the valve also. There are 4 valves, there's 4 chambers of the heart. We're going to talk about that in a little while, on our next presentation. So this herb is very significant for inhibiting thyroxine. So it is a thyroxine inhibitor, but it also reduces when the thyroid is palpitating, because the heart to palpitate, stop that anxiety also. But it also lower your pressure and it calms the heart. Next herb is called Bugleweed from the Lamacy family also. Bugleweed, this herb is from the Lamacy family too, but it works different to Motherwort because it inhibits thyroxine 4 conversion to thyroxine 3, T4, T3, and once you are hypothyroid, we go to your liver because of the thyroxine 3, thyroxine 4. If you're hyper, we go to the other gland, but we go to the pituitary also. Yeah. So this herb called Bugleweed inhibits T4 conversion to T3. Plus this herb called Bugleweed prevents binding of Graves' IgG antibodies to the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone receptor. So this is very significant, but it's also stop heart palpitation too. Yeah. This herb is very significant for when you have hyperthyroidism. But you can do the research, because all you want to have fact check. Look at the fact check right here. Yeah, 1985. Yeah. This herb also, same thing, fact check, 1985. So Bugleweed can be used in the product to prevent palpitation of the heart muscle. But it also inhibits the conversion of T4 into the conversion of T3, plus it prevents the binding of the Graves' IgG, which is the antibody, to the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone receptor. And that's where you fix your hyperthyroid. Let's go to lemon balm from the Lamacy family also. Lemon balm reduces TSH binding, thyroid stimulating hormone binding, while repairing anxiety, insomnia, and irritability. And we also use this herb for what? For memory. We have it in our brain formula. It's good for memory. It's work with Cassandra berry. Look at right here. So when you have trouble in the thyroid gland, we don't only go to the thyroid gland. We go to what? The pituitary too, by using chase tree to help the pituitary to normalize your LH and FSH. And we go to what? Cassandra berry, that help the adrenal gland. So we're working on all the glands together. And then we introduce what we call vitamin C, not vitamin C, sorry. We go to calcium, the B complex. And we use all these herbs together, and we give you all the cruciferous vegetables to prevent the thyroxine inhibitors. And then we put you on a program to fix your gut, and then you fix your hypothyroidism. Yeah, that's how it works. So the next time we're going to talk about one called hypothyroid, that how it affects the liver, and how you can fix your hypothyroid, because hypothyroid have more symptoms than hyper, but it's much easier to repair than hyper. Although hyper have less symptom, bulgy eyes, palpitation, goiters, and can cause grave disease too. But it's much more difficult to repair than the hypothyroidism. All right, blessings always. Don't forget to go to the website, and don't forget we are in. Hold on 1 minute. We are in Jersey. We are in Connecticut on Sunday. Don't forget Connecticut. 50 Lexington Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut, 203-642-3260. Call that number for me, please. Look right here. Sorry for the paperwork, okay? It's upside down. But anyway, 50 Lexington Avenue, Norwalk, Connecticut. You can call 203-642-3260 and ask for Dre, my sister. And then we're going to have a nice event on Sunday. We're going to bring up a juicer and juice and show you how to take care of yourself because cancer is on the rise. Blessed love. Go to the website, Patrick Dells, holistichealing.com. If you have a hyperthyroid, look for what? Hyperthyroid formula. Blessed love. Give thanks and praise to the Most High always. And those are Ambrosia 718-469-0985. Don't forget to go to Patterson, New Jersey, 301 Main Street in Patterson, New Jersey, on the 3rd floor for our juice bar with Brother Hassan B, who is instrumental in opening that juice bar. Blessed always, and thanks to the mayor for coming to help to cut the ribbon for us. Hassan B, my brother, keep going. You're doing the right thing. Blessed love, everybody. And don't forget to keep your weapon at home and love your neighbor yourself. Peace. All right.